is the complicated issue of population dynamics, food security, and climate change. Now we'll proceed to roll call. When you hear your country's name mentioned, please say present. Bangladesh.
Present.
Brazil.
President Rotate.
Canada.
Present.
China.
Present.
France.
Present.
Germany.
Present.
India.
Present.
Nigeria.
Present.
Tajikistan.
Present.
Tanzania.
Present.
Thailand.
President Rotate.
And the United States.
Present.
The committee will now advance into a perpetuated, moderated caucus about the topic of debate.
The delegation of the Brazil motions for 9 minutes of moderated caucus with a time limit of the 45 seconds.
Please state your position on the topic of debate.
Introduction. Good day to everybody. So the motion is about climate change, and we have 2 main points. First is population dynamics. What does it mean? It means that, like, for the people, for the women especially, it's not effective health, and also there is not good way for their reproductive lives. Also, we have the second main point about food security. So we haven't food, like our food are insecure, and because of it, 44 million people, they are because of this. So that's why they have a zero hunger program, and also the first step it was for the. Okay, thank you for the attention.
Good afternoon, dear delegates, honorable chair, and population dynamic. Because of these problems, hundreds of people die every day. If we will solve these problems, we will save millions of lives. For example, if we solve climate change, people can easily grow crops, and they can feed their families and our growing population. I think that we all together will solve these problems very easily. Thank you for your attention.
Good afternoon, honorable chair and delegates. Tajikistan is highly vulnerable to the climate change, and according to the UNFPA climate change, the temperatures in Tajikistan will rise from 1.8 degrees Celsius to 2.9 degrees Celsius by 2050, and climate change in the country will negatively impact water resources and agriculture sector, transportation infrastructure, and also the public health. Food insecurity in Tajikistan is a serious concern and is likely to strengthen by climate change. Also, trend analysis estimate that. Okay, thank you.
Delegates wishing to speak?
Because many of the places in many countries have a lot of problem with climate change. How Russia with Africa and other countries have a lot of problems with climate change because in some part of our world hot and some is cold. That's why I want to talk about environmental problem and climate change. And the second problem is food security, because a lot of countries have not good food because they don't check this food. How India and other countries, there's a lot of problem with clean and
big problem of the world. It's very good that countries pay attention to this problem. Every year, 83 million people are added to the world population. And let's talk about today's population counter of Nigeria. Only today, till this afternoon, more than 13,000 babies added, and only 4,000 dead. That's very horrible. The positive side is that countries help each other with providing food. And special thanks to China with help in our agriculture.
To the problem of overpopulation and food insecurity. In a short time, the population of India will overtake the China. Due to ugly growth of population, the need for food and energy resources is increasing every year. In India, Sterilization of families was carried out, but the result positive result. In some countries, hormonal injections also resulted in infertility. My country's position to support a humane way of stabilizing the population, which will also solve the problem of climate change and food insecurity. Thank you.
Potential is about progress toward a world without hunger. Climate change will affect all 4 dimensions of food security: food availability, food accessibility, food utilization, and food system stability. And also there are some ways to improve global food insecurity, such as close the yield gap, use fertilizer more efficiently, raise water productivity, target food for direct consumption, and reduce food waste. Thank you.
Tanzania.
Good afternoon, honorable chairs and fellow delegates. In my position, I will say that the population of Tanzania had the 18th highest population growth, and it continues. And if trends continue, it's projected that Tanzania will have a population of 95.5 million by 2050. And the Tanzanian government has chosen to spend significant resources to provision of public goods to the population. As a consequence, access to water, education, health services have improved substantially, and the quality of primary health care. Thank you.
The livelihood and the well-being of 1/5 of world population. Climate change are now affecting agriculture and food production in many countries and also in China. Now we are doing the best to solve this problem. We are open to help developing countries with technology in the agricultural sphere in order to get available and affordable food to provide our 1.4 billion people. Population growth is also another our problem is ongoing many years. As we see, the one-child policy and then two-child policy didn't give us the result which we were expected. Our population, as a result, our population is getting old.
We have 3 main related topics that we will talk about: is climate change, population dynamics, and food security. The position of the United States of America: first, stabilize their economics, and then invest money on other problems like climate change. Now, United States of America very concerned with fighting climate change. However, we support food security and prevention of population dynamics problems.
And Germany.
Good afternoon, dear delegates and honorable chair. I'm so excited to be here in this simulation in 2020 because our planet can't keep a lot of people. So if a population goes up, we should produce more food, which is food security. But we cannot produce more food because of climate change. So today, I hope that these 3 global problems like climate change, food security, and population dynamics, we will solve it together. Thank you.
France. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Good day, dear delegates. In 2100, it's predicted that Earth population will increase to 11.2 billion. It's very horrible because we know that human activity is the main cause of climate change, and as a result of climate change, we are losing our agriculture sector, and we have food insecurity. Now we are not able to provide nutrition for all these billion people, so France is ready to provide technological support to all developing countries to reduce climate change, because our Paris Agreement has shown the good results in combating climate change, and to provide climate-smart agriculture in many developed countries such as India or Nigeria. Thank you for your attention.
In order to start the work on resolutions.
The delegation of TajRupt motion for non-moderated caucus for 15 minutes in order to discuss the topic population dynamics and the threats posed by climate change and food insecurity.
Delegates in favor of a 15-minute unmoderated caucus, please raise your placards high. Passes. Please begin.
In Russia, the population is lower, and this policy is not.
Do we have Russia here or no? We have Russia, but
we are applied 1% imagine 15 million.
Everybody knows it. One person.
They are interrelated, yes. Population dynamics and
this population, they're gonna do like family planning, for example, for one family, two child.
there should be a law.
In Zebo,
We want to support the literacy of families program. The mass media should raise the issues of reproductive health and gender equality, family planning, contraception, family education, and HIV/AIDS diseases by the mass media. They should propaganda.
So your solution is to raise reproductive health,
Health, gender equality, family planning, contraception, family education.
Relates to population.
what do you mean by gender equality?
Population will be growing and we have
They have enough education.
Can you explain
a lot of things, a lot of research, a lot of research.
If we need to make a free consultation and sterilization needs, so that the larger number of population will have access. It's a cause of climate change.
No.
Free compensation and sterilization means so that a large number of people could have free sex. Before marrying, families should have lessons on planning,
We have the similar one.
Yes, we will put fines and use this money. We make fines, use this money to fine
Food security.
and use this money in agriculture, technical agriculture, technology, and other technologies like this. And we want to use because it's yes, we give access to this.
First of all,
and if
yes.
we solve this problem, people can easily
Listen, if people don't grow,
very
we can
in order to
using a lot of things,
reach
alcohol, a lot of, and yes.
Your aim is climate change or food insecurity?
Food security, it's second.
First, we should use climate change.
Because
If we solve climate change, we can solve
Can I say one thing? The United States cannot afford because climate change is not the use
stop a lot of things.
China is security.
Without this,
Yes.
means of perfection.
Besides making a law and a policy, what we can do? family planning. For family planning, we can set down the means.
The massive issue related issues of reproductive health, gender equality, family planning, contraception, family education, and HIV/AIDS diseases. We need to make free contraception and sterilization.
Your position is only reduce population dynamics?
How much?
Stabilize, reduce
We have a problem with climate change and dynamic growth of population. So he said for the population, so for the climate change, I mean, we're going to use formula of the reduce, reuse, recycle. Yeah, that's all.
Can I say? Our position is based on two solutions. First is climate change, and the second is population dynamics.
What's the solution for the climate change?
Reducing using fossil fuels. So, and put fines, put fines to see if they reduce, they should pay fines, and we will use it to agriculture problems.
The delegation of Brazil motions for 10 minutes of moderated caucus with a time limit of 30 seconds. About time limit.
10-minute moderated caucus with 45 seconds speaking time. Raise your placards high. We will now advance into a 10-minute moderated caucus with 30 seconds speaking time. The delegates wishing to speak, raise your placards high. Brazil.
So, with the countries of India and Nigeria, we decided that for the problem of the dynamic growth of population, we're gonna use the family planning, but it's not only about children. For example, as it was in India, it was like one child in one family, but we, like 3 countries, we will consider the plan and also the problems of our country. So by this, we're gonna have limit. For example, Brazil, we have a problem with their family planning. I mean this child. So for the Brazil, for example, 2 child, and also we're gonna solve this problem by mass media. Thank you.
Important issues, and according to Worldometers, the world population for nowadays is 7.6 billion people and is growing very rapidly. For Tajikistan, the population, based on the United Nations estimates for August 23rd, is more than 9 million and is growing with 2.0.
Please raise your placards high. Tajikistan. Please raise your placards high. Bangladesh.
For example, if we will solve the problem with climate change by limiting using fossil fuels, so the greenhouse effect wouldn't be so dangerous. To population dynamics, we want to have study groups in a lot of countries in order to teach people how to plan their families. Thank you for attention.
As you see, the problem is too horrible, and if it will continue during some decades, the world will lead with a big catastrophe. So our point is spending money for providing food and fighting this climate change, because countries easily spend money for it, because instead of spending billions for military.
China.
Here I want to say that these 3 problems are like a chain, and the solving one of them depends on 2 of them. And our position is to put environmental protection up to our economic and other problems, because we should keep our earth and environment sustained, and to make sure that our next generation will see what we see today.
I think environmental problem we can reject population dynamic, because first problem in environment problem is a growing population, and in food security it's 2, because if a lot of people use a lot of food, we have not enough resource for people.
Delegates wishing to speak, please raise your placards high. there are no more delegates wishing to speak, I will ask if there are any points or motions on the floor at this time. China.
Invitation of China motion for unmoderated process for 15 minutes in order to discuss about history growing problems and right resolution.
Any other points or motions at this time? So all those delegates in favor of advancing into a 15-minute moderated topics, that's passed. Please proceed.
So when you're deciding who you're going to write up as sponsors, it should be the person who works on it the most, but also the person who's willing to present it in front of everyone. The other people can debate for it. Yeah.
Only 4 people should be signatories.
4 minimum, but there can be more.
Да, червоно. Не, как бы дута отдельно, да, дута и спонсор. Или вы отдельно уже начали?
Уже, если мы все пишем, я не хамлю, значит, или как это
It's a big
Climate change. Понимаем, что забыть. Там декларация. А вот это очень. Быстро только. Давайте попробуем контролировать сама. Почему? Примерно. Что Индия? Acum va Tajikistan. Acum signature сама мы бачили, ну гаш контроль, командная работа шла. Понимаете, я обычно если acum signature сама не помню, я знаю, Минджу, а вам имя? Имя не нужно. in normal explosion.
Кыш кунта я борис дискада хамаша. А при чем тут HIV?
بچه ها کش команда работа шавад. این برای شما گرفتم که رئیس سفرش میگیرید. Вы знаете, как писать резолюцию? Я не знаю. Лично не знаю.
Delegation of United States calls for unmoderated focus for 10 minutes to make sure that our resolution will be finished, to complete our resolutions.
Are there any other points or motions? Your time is time. Unmoderated caucus for 10 minutes. Please raise your placards high. That's
In food fine screen making.
Frustration. As the forest.
Avoid ocean, cleaning ocean. We should also clean ocean. Climate change is really expensive.
Carbon dioxide.
Natural.
There's no room to climate change.
Climate change is like crop change.
Like a lot of things they throw in ocean that I want to
No,
do.
it's not the same. It's not. It wouldn't have any effect, any bad impact. There is no brain.
If they use throughout the make some product, it will be dirty ocean.
Pollutes our atmosphere. Dangerous when they use on land. On land. It will destroy. When we end our introduction, our resolution, and the one student will go in favor, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
There will be 2 total in favor, right? Your time is up. Please return to your seats. Are there any points or motions on the floor at this time? I would like to say that the chair looks particularly favorably on motions for moderated caucus. Brazil.
Time limit 45 seconds for introducing our resolutions.
Other points or motions at this time? So all those in favor of a 10-minute moderated caucus with 45 seconds speaking time, raise your placards high. Raise them high, please. That passes. So delegates wishing to speak, please raise your placards.
We should use our clean energy. What we mean by clean energy, for example, every country we have for example, Tajikistan uses hydropower, and some countries they should use geothermal, heat from the earth or sun. By this, every country, in which sphere they good, they should use there. And also about how we should remind for the people about reducing, reusing, and recycling, and so controlling fabrics and plants for the gas emissions. Thank you for attention.
Tajikistan. Global population over the course of the last century has coincided with the growth of carbon emissions. The UNFPA estimates the human population expanded from 1.6 billion to 6.1 billion people in the 20th century alone. And in the same period, global carbon emissions grew from 534 million to 6.7 billion metric tons.
Thank you. We can also make easier access to the cars like Tesla in order to decrease percentage of carbon dioxide. Thank you.
Usually it's much more expensive and it's not effective. If you'll use how cars, it's Tesla. First of all, it's expensive, and second, what we will be doing in our cars. What happened with cars with working with gas and oil?
The mass media should raise the issues of reproductive health, family planning, contraception, family education, and HIV/AIDS diseases. It could be through the soap media or soap series. It could be spread to wider audience. That's all.
United States.
We will invest money to develop agriculture in the developing countries. Thank you.
Bangladesh.
As I said before, we want to put fines and limit using fossil fuels. We would use this money in order to develop other technologies, like using clean energy, as the delegation of the United States said, to develop agriculture technology. And in order to solve the problem with population-related issues, we want to have a lot of social groups all over the world, and in order to spread how to plan plan family, contraception, and other solutions that can solve this problem. Thank you for attention.
Now to a solution to solve all these problems step by step. And we put food security up to of them, because food security is the main problem of the whole world, and we should help the other countries and developing countries with agriculture sphere, and China is ready to invest technologies in these countries.
So firstly, we must reduce the carbon dioxide and prevent to producing more carbon dioxide. By this, we can put the restrictions for organizations to produce less carbon dioxide, and also to plant more trees and make more.
Brazil? Second problem is about dynamic growth of population. In Tajikistan, they explained about climate change, but now about family problems, dynamic growth of population. So what we're gonna do? First of all, we will educate people before their marriage, so they will be educated, and then they will go to the marriage, and then they will be married. And second one, we're gonna put restrictions for their countries like India and my country, Brazil. For example, for one family to child. Thank you for your attention.
We will legalize the birth rate of no more than 2 living offspring from one parent, and that stabilizes in turn the gap between fertility and mortality, which will fix the world population.
Another thing that could bring the solution of the problem of population is make easier access to contraceptions. So because there is a big number of unplanned pregnancy, so we can decrease the number of it. Unplanned pregnancy, orphans, and population. It also will push to the solve of food security. Less population increasing, less demand for the food.
The chair asks the sponsors of draft resolution 1.1 to present to the committee. This resolution was sponsored by China and Bangladesh.
Food insecurity and population dynamics. We, with Bangladesh, came to the solutions, and here I want to present them. Endorses that China and France, and I want to call other countries to make an investment on developing countries on agriculture sphere in order to get available and affordable food, and then to help for other countries which had food insecurity. And the second solution calls all countries, especially countries with bigger population, to make family planning trainings and to provide free access to contraceptives for people in order to reduce the rate of population growth. And the third solution remains that greenhouse gas emissions cause climate changes, and we all have to turn into recycle, reuse, and to turn into clean energy sources.
To continue our resolution, another solution is to limit the gas emission for every country per year and put taxes over them. If we will put taxes not every fabric will use fossil fuels, and we will use this money to develop other technologies like clean energy. And another solution is to improve agriculture spheres and start using organic fertilizers. This is a very good solution because there wouldn't be pollution from fertilizers, like chemical fertilizers, and they wouldn't be so dangerous to people.
Favor of this resolution? Thailand? Canada? Delegates wishing to speak against this resolution? Brazil? We will begin with Thailand speaking for this resolution.
And also, if we improve the agriculture, and it will help to prevent the food insecurity. Thank you.
Problem just by energy, like clean energy for the climate change. So I mean that countries like Tajikistan, Thailand, China, Brazil, they haven't enough money for paying this. As you know, the equipment for their geothermal or for their hydropower is too expensive, and that's why not all countries can consider it and can pay for this. Another one, that's all. So that's why we are not supporting this, because of money and because of the logic. Thank you.
Canada, now it's your turn to speak for the resolution.
Because if we will reject environmental problem, how free exercise, and there will be few risks for birds, and it's a good part because we can reject a lot of problem with population, and second problem about food security, because a lot of countries, how India and China have not good food security. That's why we want to talk about food security first of all. First, an environmental problem, and second, food security.
Nigeria, prepare 45 seconds to speak against.
The main our point is that it is all clean energy is very expensive for a lot of developing countries. As for us, who can support us with clean energy? And so another reason is we should educate people in order to fight this climate change. The main point is people. We should spread our solutions in mass media in order to fight with it.
Thank you, delegates. Sponsors of draft resolution 1.2, please come forward and present your work to the group.
They provide us with solutions which are good, but also they're expensive, and our point is about education. What do we mean? What's the cause of the climate change? Because people, they are not understanding. They're not understanding what they're doing. Plants, they're not working by logic. They're not thinking about our atmosphere and the earth. That's why we're providing that, first of all, for their family growing, for the dynamic population, for the climate change. First of all, people should have good literacy. They should know what they're doing. And for this, they should be educated. And for their another point, we should have restrictions for the family. For example, as India and me, my country is Brazil, so we have a kind of population growth. That's why we just supporting this idea.
As we said, the root of the problem is overpopulation and illiteracy. We want to support an literacy of families program. The mass media is a strong platform to deliver the information. So the mass media should raise the issues of reproductive health, family planning, contraception, family education, and HIV/AIDS diseases. So many housewives and many families are watching the soap opera. It will be the best solution to spread to the wider audience.
Tajikistan also involved in the reducing the impacts of negative climate change, and one of the solutions to solve this problem is, I think, using clean energy, because it's a good idea, and Tajikistan, by becoming a regional clean energy provider through its hydroelectric power,
And also, the 2.6, we should make easier access to two things, contraception and cars like Tesla. Why not to help to Tesla with cost of production in order to make the price of car cheaper?
Thank you for your attention.
So, delegates wishing to speak for, please raise your placards high. Brazil and Tajikistan. And delegates wishing to speak against, please raise your Bangladesh and China. 45 seconds to speak in favor of this resolution.
Okay, guys. Not make a good solution. That's why we will solve the problem of the family planning by the education if people will know what they are doing. And if people know what they are doing, they will plan their child, they will plan everything in their future. Another problem about climate change. We will create another kind of good formula, 3R, reduce, reuse, recycle, and for this we need education. And that's why we're supporting education for solving climate change and family planning. Thanks.
Bangladesh, you now have 45 seconds.
Tesla cars are more expensive than our resolution solution. And another, you say that you will educate people not to pollute the environment. The rich people most pollute air, and you want to teach rich people and educated people to education. Think about it.
Warning. For example, the Tajikistan can become a regional clean energy provider through its hydroelectric initiative because Rogun Dam is the tallest dam in the world and the most powerful one in the region, which is in Waksh River. And the Rogun hydroelectric power plant will double Tajikistan's energy production and will allow for power exports to neighboring countries, including Pakistan, Afghanistan, and other countries. If every country will use the clean energy,
time is up. By very expensive Tesla is not a good idea. And also, the resolution 1.2 doesn't include the exact ways to overcome the climate change. And also, they mentioned they are going to make a two-child policy. It's not productive, and there is no good result because the China is very bright example that two-child policy didn't give expected results.
Thank you, delegates. The committee will now move into the voting procedure, starting with draft resolution 1.1. The chair reminds the delegates that you may either vote for, against, or you can abstain from voting. So now, all delegates wishing to vote for draft resolution 1.1, raise your placards high. All those against draft resolution 1.1, please raise your placards high. Raise them high. All those abstaining. We will now vote on draft resolution 1.2. All those in favor of draft resolution 1.2, raise your placards high. All those against, raise your placards high. All those abstaining. Draft resolution 1.1 passes with a vote of 9 for and 4 against. Draft resolution 1.2 did not pass with a vote of 4 in favor and 9 against. Thank you, delegates. The judges will now move into a recess to consider awards.
But because the resolution passed, clapping is in motion.
The nature of people of the earth. They said we should.
Yeah, okay. So she participated a lot, but it was not a new idea.
Solutions worked on the blocks.
Outstanding.
Awesome job.
You said